So first I'd like to introduce Mike Coverdale.
Thank you. About 25 years ago, 30 feet from where I'm standing, my late wife, Jean Coverdale, then Secretary to the President of the Senate, dreamed up a business. And that business was Block Party Studios. She's a textiles and clothing major from Iowa State University. And while she was working as a Secretary in the Senate, she had an idea that she could start a business in our community in Nevada, Iowa, and employ members of the community and make a living. And indeed, we did that. Block Party Studios is a quilting production facility. Her work in textiles and clothing gave her the tools to create quilt patterns and quilt blocks that were screen printed by labor in our office. And like most businesses, it started in the basement, then to the garage, then to a dilapidated commercial facility, and then finally, in 2005, we built a 6,000 square foot production facility in the West Industrial Park of Nevada, Iowa. All this time required all this growth, if you will, in an industry that is 3.6 billion across the United States, the clothing industry. We just had a small little smidgen of it, but it was predicated on labor that we paid a living wage. So I'm here because I believe that any business, large or small, whose profitability is achieved by offering the lowest wage possible, are modern day slave owners. I watched a local Des Moines area TV newscast recently that interviewed a popular pizza parlor owner in Ankeny, Iowa, who said he'd have to raise the prices of his pizza if there was a hike in the minimum wage. So raise the price of pizzas. That's what we did. Every time we thought that it was appropriate to ramp up and give our employees, 10 employees that run this plant currently, I'm retired from it right now, and every time that the cost of living went up, we figured out a way to raise our prices and sustain a living wage, which was, in my tenure, more than twice the current minimum wage in Iowa. Sometimes we heard complaints about the cost of our products. Maybe the pizza's too high. But I would respond that our products are handmade by United States of America workers who are paid a living wage, and most people are okay with that. They pay the 25 cents extra on a fat quarter. That's a term of trade for quilters. I think it's interesting for me as a retired person, one of the things I do with my time is I do a lot of volunteer work. And a couple of the volunteer areas I do is I'm committed to is feeding the hungry. And I'm the head chef on occasion at Food at First, which is a community kitchen in Ames, and now in Nevada where I live. More than half of our customers, more than half the people that show up are wage earners living on minimum wage. They are compelled to come to a soup kitchen to augment their income in order to pay their gas bill, in order to pay just other living expenses. So I am compelled to join the people in this room, this coalition, to refute the non-factual arguments against raising the minimum wage, especially that a minimum wage is bad for small business. That is not a fact. It is simply a choice. Simply put, my late wife and I chose a living wage for our employees instead of a vacation home for ourselves financed on their backs. We Iowans often lead the way. Let us find the leadership to dignify all labor by raising the minimum wage. Thank you.